Welcome to the Trusted Network Solutions Fast 5. In this session, we'll be discussing the benefits of next generation firewalls in the financial industry. The first benefit we'll discuss is granular application control. What we're referring to here is the ability to not just block a website. In fact, not just block an application from a website or some application server, but actually understand the application and block the functions within that application. In other words, similar, not just a light switch, but a dimmer switch. We can turn it up and we can turn it down. So a great example would be Facebook. Perhaps your marketing department needs to be able to use Facebook. However, you don't want your marketing people playing Facebook games. So you can give the marketing team the ability to access Facebook, to check someone's profile, say if their HR department would be another example. HR needs to check their profile, that you can allow HR to just look at profiles but not be able to post. Marketing can, you can have your own Facebook page, and marketing can post things, and this is what's happening new with our company, and encourage followers, but they can't go and play the games. So in a financial organization, being able to allow people to access applications on the internet, but limit what they can do within those applications. The second benefit is user and group security policies. Being able to apply policy based on their Active Directory or whatever directory you use for people to authenticate to the network, being able to use that directory to apply policy. So back to our previous examples, everyone in the HR department, so let's say you have an Active Directory group called HR employees. You can apply policy based on their membership to that Active Directory group. So you don't have to recreate your users and your groups in the firewall. You simply have the firewall query Active Directory or LDAP and query and find out, is this user that's trying to access the internet member of a group? If they're a member of that group, apply these policies. If they're a member of HR, they're allowed to access Facebook, but they're not allowed to play games. They can only check profiles. If they're a member of marketing, they're allowed to access Facebook, but they can only post things about the company. They can't go and do other applications, other activities on Facebook. So being able to apply that. Also related to this is knowing what people are doing. Instead of having an IP address, this IP address went to this website. No, instead it will say Bill Jones went to that website, right? So because we're directory aware, whether that's Active Directory or another directory, because we're aware of that, we know who the person is. So it's not just their IP address, it's Sally Smith went to that website. So we're aware of who that user is, and our reports show that information. Much more useful than an IP address that you have to somehow try to equate to a user. The third benefit is SSL decryption. Next generation firewalls now are able to basically act like a man in the middle. SSL encryption hides a lot of nasty things people are doing. Basically, they go out on HTTPS and that encrypted protocol, and by definition, it's encrypted. We can't look at it. We can't see what they're doing. However, we can use a technique where we can insert ourselves in the middle, and we can decrypt that traffic and then re-encrypt the traffic. So when the user goes out to a website that's encrypted, we are a man in the middle. We actually terminate the encryption session, de-encrypt it, analyze what they're doing. If it's legitimate, then we re-encrypt it and then allow it to go on its merry way. And of course the return traffic is handled in the same manner. So now we actually can allow users to use encrypted protocols, but can actually see what they're doing inside of that. Now there obviously are security concerns in that. Well, we have granularity. We can say, you know what, if they're going to their healthcare website or a financial website, like their bank and their doctor, don't de-encrypt that. Let that go straight through. Don't de-encrypt that traffic. However, if they're going out to their email, their Gmail account, or Facebook, or wherever, then those sessions we want to de-encrypt, inspect, and then re-encrypt if it's legitimate traffic. So we can have granular control of what we do, so we don't step on into any landmines and actually start looking at someone's personal information, such as banking or medical, but still control their activities when they're going to places like Facebook. The fourth advantage and benefit for financial institutions with next generation firewalls is advanced reporting. Because we have all this visibility, because we can see who's doing certain things and what they're doing, both encrypted and unencrypted traffic, and it's assigned to a specific user and it's related to a specific application, we can actually give very advanced and detailed reporting about what people are doing. So instead of it being an IP address, which represents a user somehow, and a port number, which maybe represents an application, but what if it's port 80? Basically all applications are running over port 80 or HTTP. Instead, it's a user, Bob Smith, and an application. SAP, Facebook, any type of application, we can now see that granular reporting of exactly who's doing what in what applications. So the reporting is extremely detailed and sophisticated and informative because it's using usernames and application names, not IP addresses and port numbers. The fifth and final benefit we're going to cover today on next generation firewalls is behavior-based detection. What that means is being able to not look for signatures, but actually look at the behavior of an application or a document and see if it's doing something malicious. So it will help us with zero-day exploits. Many applications, DLLs, executables, or even documents like PDFs can actually execute scripts. Those documents and executables could be malicious, and if there's not a signature out for them, they're going to flow right through. Well, with behavioral-based detection, what we do is we execute that executable or open that document and watch what it does. So the Next Gen Firewall has a sandbox, most times up in the cloud. When it sees a executable or a document with scripts, such as a PDF, and that it hasn't seen before, it'll actually send that document or executable up to this sandbox, which is a simulated Windows environment, and it'll open that document or execute that executable in this simulated environment and then watch what it does. And if it does anything malicious, if it does very suspicious things such as trying to edit the registry, rename system files, disable the antivirus, turn off the firewall, it'll see that and it'll realize by its behavior that it is a malicious code, and it will then mark that as a bad code. Now, for the first person that goes through, they're going to still get it because we can't slow down people's access of files. So what it does is it makes a copy of that executable or document it's never seen before and does this sandbox functionality, but it lets it flow through. But at least then it sees within a few minutes or seconds, it realizes that that was a bad or a malicious document or executable, and then it will flag it. And then anyone else that's part of the network, we will know about it. Now there will be a quote-unquote a signature for that one. And you, the administrator, if you're the lucky one that got that first document that's never been seen before, you will at least be alerted that it made it through and it's malicious, and you can go chase it down. So it's behavioral-based detection, and it's a big step forward in getting zero-day detection for brand new viruses, malware, etc. So that's the Fast 5 for next generation firewalls, the benefits that financial institutions and others see. As a recap, there's granular application control, so we can use that dimmer switch, give more or less access to an application, not just a light switch on or off. We have user and group awareness for your directory, so we know what the user is, if they're members of groups, and we can apply policy based off of that. SSL decryption, we can actually look into that SSL stream and see what people are doing in that encrypted traffic. Advanced reporting, because we now know what the applications are and we know who the users are. Our reporting is much more robust and easy to read. And then finally, the behavioral-based detection. What is that application? What is that executable? What is that document trying to do? And if it's doing something malicious, let's flag that. Thank you.